other is mechanics, and the third is statistics and probability. I'll just write it as pure math has 3 papers. The first is pure 1, which is called P1. Second is pure 2, which is called P2, which you are not concerned with. And the third is pure 3, which is basically P3. Okay. Mechanics used to have 2 kinds of papers, but now it only has 1, which is mechanics. First, it used to be M1 and M2, and now there is only mechanics. Statistics has 2 papers. One is stats and probability. One statistics. Let me call it statistics 1. Which is also called S1, and the next is statistics 2, which is called S2. Okay. How many papers in total? How many options in total? 6. But you only have to give 4 papers. You don't have to give all 6. You have to give only 4. Let's talk about AS and A2. Okay. AS mathematics, what could be your possible combination? One is you have to give pure 1, which is basically P1. Everyone has to give P1 in AS mathematics. And what you can do is take another combination of any other component with P1. Which one would you like to take? Just an open question. What is possible? Okay, P1, you are already appearing for P1. What other paper can you take? Options are there for a reason. P2 नहीं लेना, pure का only 1 paper you have to give. One paper from one of these components. Mechanics. Okay, one thing is students can do is they can take P1 and mechanics. If you take P1 in mechanics in AS, then in A2 mathematics, you will have to give P3. Everyone has to give P3. You don't have an option for that. P2 you don't have to give. It is for a 12-year equivalent, and you have to go for US. And you have to show high school equivalence, only then you go for P2. We don't appear for P2. For a complete A-level credit, we appear for P1 and P3. But if you have given mechanics in AS, what can you give in A2? That's which component? Obviously, logically, you will be giving S1. It doesn't make sense that you give S2 right away. This is one possible combination. AS may you give P1 in mechanics, in A2 you give P3 and S1. Another combination is you can take P1 in AS and give S1 along with it. If you take P1 and S1 in AS, then you have 2 possible options in A2. One is you can give P3 and mechanics, and the other is you can give P3 and S2. Getting this? So my recommendation is, and not just my, it's a general recommendation around the world, you go for P1 and S1 in AS. Why? I'll give you the reason for that as well. P1 and S1 in AS, and what does it do? It keeps your option open for A2. And another thing it does is, because S1 has many new things to focus on, and once you're done with S1 in AS, then in A2 you can go for mechanics. If you have physics background, even in O-levels, and you have done physics in AS as well, you will not have to study much in mechanics. The questions require a lot of thinking, but there will not be new knowledge involved. You already know work, energy, power, you know forces, you will understand breaking the components of forces, you will be aware of all the concepts involved in mechanics. So what will that do to you? It will save you time, the time that you can put in P3, and P3 will require lots and lots of your time in it. So by saving mechanics for A2, you have ample time and focus and energy for P3. If you give mechanics in AS, and P1 is also in AS, but A2 may with P3, S1, it is not difficult, but both the components will require your time. It's clear both are higher order thinking components. Another thing that you can do is once you get P1 and S1 and you believe you've done very well in S1, and you want to pursue your career in computer science or commerce related subjects, then you can go for P3 and S2. Because S2 is a continuity of S1, and you believe that you have done very well in S1 and you want to continue with more statistics and probability, you have an option to go for S2 as well. That's clear. Now let's talk about the papers, their lengths and everything. Pure one जो है, that is 1 hour and ये तीनों papers 1 hour and 50 minutes. And it has 75 marks. And the weightage in AS is 60% in AS. समझ आ रहा है? Okay. Similarly, P3, everything is the same, 1 hour and 50 minutes, 75 marks, and in total it is 30% in total grade. In your total grade, if you see, and once you get a total ASA2 Milata, once you get your grade, उसमें P1 is 30%, P3 is 30%, they make up 60%, and the remaining is from their mechanics of steps. This is basically 1 hour and 15 minutes. It is of 50 marks, and it is 40% in AS and 20% of in total. AS2 combined करते हो तो it is 20%. If you only focus on AS, so it is 40%. The same is the case with both S1 and S2. Is this clear? What combination are we going for? P1 and S2. And how will we go about doing this? First, we complete entire P1s, entire syllabus of P1. Then you can focus on doing questions regarding P1, and you can focus on doing yearly papers for P1. Once you're done with that, then we start covering S1. After covering P1, tentatively around the end of January, we'll be done with P1, and then we can focus on S1, which will take about a month and a half. So I try to cover the entire syllabus mid-March or end of March. So then you can go for your exam preparation. That includes past paper coverage. Topical past papers are included in this time. So you'll have ample time to practice anything that is not clear at this point.